Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Stevie Nicks, the enchanting voice of rock and a trailblazing music icon. Stevie Nicks stands as one of the most influential and beloved figures in the history of rock music. Known for her unmistakable voice, mystical stage persona, and poetic songwriting, she has built a career that spans more than 5 decades. As both a solo artist and a member of Fleetwood Mac, Nicks has left a profound impact on generations of musicians and fans around the world. Early life and musical beginnings. Stephanie Lynn Nicks was born on May 26, 1948, in Phoenix, Arizona. From a young age, she showed a natural inclination toward music, inspired by her grandfather, a country singer who encouraged her to sing. Nicks began writing songs in her teenage years, drawing from her personal experiences, dreams, and emotions, elements that would later become hallmarks of her style. Her life changed when she met Lindsey Buckingham in high school. The pair formed a musical partnership and romantic relationship, eventually releasing an album as Buckingham Nicks in 1973. Though the album initially failed commercially, it caught the attention of Fleetwood Mac founders Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, and Christine McVie. Breakthrough with Fleetwood Mac. In 1975, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham joined Fleetwood Mac, a decision that transformed the band and launched them into global stardom. Nicks contributed a unique musical and aesthetic presence, introducing a blend of mysticism, emotional depth, and captivating storytelling. Her songs on the band's first album with the new lineup, Fleetwood Mac, 1975, quickly became hits. Especially the haunting ballad, Rhiannon, which Nicks famously described as being about a mystical Welsh witch. Her writing connected deeply with audiences, blending vulnerability and strength. The band's next album, Rumours, 1977, became one of the best-selling albums of all time. Though created during a period of intense emotional turmoil, including her breakup with Buckingham, Nicks delivered unforgettable pieces such as Dreams, the band's first #1 single in the US. Her ability to channel heartbreak into powerful music solidified her place as a standout artist within the group. A flourishing solo career while still a member of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks pursued a parallel solo career that proved equally successful. Her debut solo album, Belladonna, 1981, topped the charts and included iconic songs like Edge of 17 and Leather and Lace. Her solo work allowed her to explore themes of independence, femininity, and emotional resilience in new ways. Over the years, Nicks released multiple acclaimed albums, including The Wild Heart, 1983, Rock a Little, 1985, and The Other Side of the Mirror, 1989. Her solo success demonstrated her unique magnetism. Her songs were deeply personal yet universally resonant. Artistry and legacy. Stevie Nicks is celebrated not only for her music but also for her distinctive image. Flowing shawls, lace, velvet, platform boots, and a mystical, bohemian aesthetic became signature elements of her identity. Her stage presence, graceful, mysterious, and emotionally charged, helped redefine what a rock frontwoman could be. Her songwriting often explores themes of love, longing, empowerment, spirituality, and personal transformation. Over time, she has inspired countless artists across genres, from rock and pop to alternative and indie. In 2019, Nicks achieved a historic milestone. She became the first woman inducted twice into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. First as a member of Fleetwood Mac and later as a solo artist. This achievement reflects her extraordinary influence on the music industry, personal resilience, and continued influence throughout her career. Nicks has been open about her struggles, including substance abuse and personal heartbreak. Her willingness to address these challenges openly has strengthened her connection with fans and set an example of honesty and resilience. Stevie Nicks remains active in music, touring regularly and contributing to new projects. Her voice, though mature, retains its ethereal quality. Her songs continue to resonate across generations, and her influence can be seen in numerous modern artists who cite her as a major inspiration. Conclusion: Stevie Nicks is more than a rock star. She is a cultural icon whose art has shaped the emotional landscape of modern music. Through her poetic lyrics, unforgettable voice, and magnetic presence, she has built a legacy that continues to shine brightly. Whether with Fleetwood Mac or as a solo artist, Stevie Nicks remains a symbol of creativity, empowerment, and enduring artistry. Further exploration of Stevie Nicks' musical journey. The evolution of a songwriter. Stevie Nicks' songwriting is one of the defining pillars of her career. Her songs often emerge from handwritten journals, poetry, or real-life experiences woven into metaphorical narratives. She has described her process as deeply intuitive, writing in bursts of inspiration and treating lyricism as a form of storytelling and emotional release. Many of her best-known songs were born during moments of intense personal reflection. For example, Landslide was written when she was questioning her future with Buckingham and her place in the music world. Gypsy reflects her longing for simplicity and innocence amid the chaos of fame. Sarah remains one of her most personal and enigmatic compositions, tied to a deeply emotional period in her life. Her ability to transform personal memories and vulnerabilities into universal themes has helped her music remain timeless. The mystique and stage persona. Stevie Nicks' stage persona is legendary. Her image, rooted in romanticism, mysticism, and a touch of fantasy, became instantly recognizable. Flowing black dresses, chiffon shawls, fingerless gloves, and tall boots created her signature silhouette. She often speaks about how her stage outfits empower her, describing them as "my armor." When she twirls across the stage or raises a shawl dramatically during a performance, she becomes the embodiment of her lyrical world, part poet, part sorceress, part gypsy queen. This persona was not crafted for commercial appeal. It was an authentic extension of her inner life, a reflection of her love for fairy tales, mythology, and old-world aesthetics. Over decades, it has become one of the most iconic looks in rock history. Fleetwood Mac's turbulence and triumphs. Behind the success of Fleetwood Mac lay a complicated web of relationships. The emotional entanglements between band members, Nicks and Buckingham's breakup, Christine and John McVie's divorce, and Mick Fleetwood's own personal struggles, became intertwined with the creative process. These tensions, though painful, produced some of the band's greatest music. Nicks has often noted that Fleetwood Mac's chemistry was both destructive and magical. The band's ability to channel real-life heartbreak into masterpieces such as Rumors remains a defining chapter in rock history. Despite periods of separation, the band reunited several times, most notably in the late 1990s and during global tours in the 2000s and 2010s. Audiences continued to flock to see Nicks perform classics with the same emotional force she had in her youth. Solo reinvention and enduring success. After establishing herself as a solo artist with the success of Belladonna, Nicks continued expanding her musical horizons. Her second album, The Wild Heart, showcased her ability to blend rock, pop, and mysticism seamlessly. Songs like Stand Back, inspired by Prince's Little Red Corvette, became concert staples. Her solo career allowed her to work with a wide range of musicians, producers, and collaborators. She developed a distinctive sound apart from Fleetwood Mac, still mystical and poetic but with a more personal, introspective tone. Even in later years, her work continued to shine. In Your Dreams 2011, produced by Dave Stewart, was widely praised for its emotional range and strong songwriting. Her 2014 album, 24 Karat Gold, Songs from the Vault, breathed new life into decades-old unreleased songs, proving the timelessness of her writing. Influence on fashion, culture, and the next generation. Stevie Nicks' influence extends far beyond music. She became a fashion icon whose style inspired countless artists, designers, and fans. The Stevie Nicks aesthetic, bohemian, witchy, romantic, remains a staple in popular culture. Her impact on younger musicians is undeniable. Artists such as Florence Welch, Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, Haim, Lord, and Vanessa Carlton have all cited her as an inspiration. Many have collaborated with her or paid tribute to her artistry in interviews and performances. In the 2010s, her work experienced a resurgence when Fleetwood Mac songs were featured in popular shows and films, and when she appeared in American Horror Story, Coven, playing a fictionalized version of herself. The role introduced her to new generations and reinforced her reputation as a mystical icon. Personal reflections and later life. Stevie Nicks has faced many challenges: romantic heartbreak, struggles with addiction, and the pressures of fame. Her recovery and continued artistic output stand as a testament to her resilience. In interviews, she expresses gratitude for her longevity and the devotion of her fans. She continues to tour with unwavering energy, performing for audiences who span multiple generations. Her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as both a solo artist and a member of Fleetwood Mac solidified her legacy. But Nicks often says her greatest achievement is being able to continue creating and performing music that moves people. A legacy etched in rock history. Stevie Nicks is more than a singer or songwriter. She is a symbol of artistic freedom, emotional honesty, and timeless creativity. Her contributions have shaped rock music, inspired countless artists, and created a connection with fans that endures across decades. Her songs remain an emotional refuge for many. And her voice, a raw, smoky, unmistakable instrument, continues to resonate with power and grace. Stevie Nicks' story is a testament to the magic that happens when authenticity meets imagination. She is, and will always be, one of the most enchanting and enduring figures in modern music. Further expansion. The many dimensions of Stevie Nicks. A deep dive into her discography throughout her career, both with Fleetwood Mac and as a solo artist. Stevie Nicks has built a catalog defined by emotional honesty and poetic depth. Each album marks a different chapter of her life. Belladonna, 1981, her breakthrough, blending vulnerability with strength. Tracks like Edge of 17 and After the Glitter Fades reveal her growing independence. The Wild Heart, 1983, a darker, more complex record shaped by the pressures of sudden fame. Rock a Little, 1985, created during a turbulent personal period, the album shows Nicks experimenting with new musical directions. The Other Side of the Mirror, 1989, a dreamlike project inspired by Alice in Wonderland, reflecting her love of myths and fantasy. Street Angel, 1994, despite personal challenges during its creation, the album highlights Nicks' lyrical persistence. Trouble in Shangri-La, 2001, a return to poetic form, featuring collaborations with Sheryl Crow, Sarah McLachlan, and Macy Gray. In Your Dreams, 2011, one of her most joyful albums, recorded at her home with producer Dave Stewart, 24 Karat Gold. Songs from the Vault, 2014, a treasure chest of songs written over decades, finally given life. Her body of work reflects not only her evolution as an artist but also her unwavering dedication to storytelling through music. Historic collaborations. Stevie Nicks' collaborative spirit is a cornerstone of her career. She has worked alongside a wide range of artists, each bringing out different facets of her musical identity. With Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, her duet, "Stop Draggin' My Heart Around," remains one of the most iconic rock collaborations. Petty served as a mentor and creative partner, helping shape her early solo sound. With Prince, their collaboration on "Stand Back" became a defining song of her solo catalog. Prince contributed arrangements and musical ideas, giving the track its electric energy. With Don Henley, her duet with the Eagles vocalist, Leather and Lace, showcased her romantic yet grounded songwriting. Henley's vocals provided a soulful counterpoint to her ethereal delivery. With Sheryl Crow and contemporary artists as a mentor to younger musicians, Nicks has collaborated with Sheryl Crow, Vanessa Carlton, Leanne Rimes, Lana Del Rey, and Haim. These partnerships highlight her ongoing influence and adaptability. Relationships that shaped her art. Stevie Nicks' romantic history often played a significant role in her songwriting, though she has always maintained a balance between honesty and privacy. Lindsey Buckingham. Her relationship with Buckingham remains one of the most iconic and complex partnerships in rock history. Their emotional highs and lows provided the raw material for classics like "Dreams," "Silver Springs," "Go Your Own Way," and "Landslide." Even after their breakup, their bond continued through decades of creative work. Mick Fleetwood. The brief, intense romance between Nicks and Mick Fleetwood in the late 1970s occurred during a difficult period in both their lives. Though short-lived, it deepened the emotional narrative behind Fleetwood Mac's music. Don Henley and other key figures. Nicks has spoken openly about her relationships with Don Henley and songwriter J.D. Souther. These connections inspired some of her most heartfelt lyrics and helped shape her understanding of love, commitment, and independence. Spirituality, mysticism, and creative rituals. Stevie Nicks' creative identity is deeply intertwined with her love of mythology, symbolism, and spirituality. Her fascination with witches, goddesses, celestial themes, and ancient stories has always been part of her artistic language. She has described the writing process as almost ritualistic, often lighting candles, surrounding herself with journals, drawings, and old photographs, and allowing memories to guide her. These private creative rituals gave birth to many of her most iconic songs. Despite her mystical image, Nicks has emphasized that she is not a practicing witch or occultist. Her persona is artistic, symbolic, and rooted in storytelling, not literal belief. Her appearance on American Horror Story allowed her to playfully embrace the fictional, white witch character fans associated with her. Her role as a mentor and feminist icon throughout her career. Stevie Nicks has championed women in the music industry. She has encouraged young female artists to assert themselves creatively, maintain artistic independence, and resist pressures to conform. Her success in a male-dominated rock landscape made her a feminist symbol long before the term was mainstream. By openly discussing emotional vulnerability, heartbreak, ambition, and empowerment, she created a path for future generations. Artists like Taylor Swift, Florence Welch, Lorde, and Haim have cited her as a guiding light. Nicks has become known affectionately in the music world as the fairy godmother of rock. Health, struggles, and strength. Nicks has faced numerous personal challenges, including addiction in the 1980s, followed by a long and difficult recovery, the pressures of fame and constant touring, chronic back and knee pain from decades of performing in platform boots, the emotional toll of losing close friends and collaborators. Her courage in addressing these issues publicly has resonated strongly with fans. Nicks often emphasizes resilience and self-care, especially for younger artists entering the industry. Stevie Nicks in modern pop culture. Even decades into her career, Nicks remains a prominent cultural icon. Her influence can be seen in fashion trends inspired by her signature look, films, TV shows, and documentaries featuring her music. Viral social media moments, such as the renewed popularity of Dreams after a 2020 TikTok video, tribute concerts and covers by contemporary artists. Her ability to stay relevant across generations is rare, even among rock legends. An enduring, irreplaceable legacy. Stevie Nicks stands as a singular figure in music history, an artist who combines poetic sensitivity, mystical imagery, emotional depth, and unmatched charisma. Her voice remains instantly recognizable, and her ability to touch listeners' hearts is undiminished. More than a rock star, she is a storyteller, a survivor, a mentor, and a symbol of artistic authenticity. Her work has shaped the soundtrack of multiple eras and continues to inspire people around the world. Stevie Nicks is, and always will be, one of the most magical and influential artists in modern music. Further expansion. The world of Stevie Nicks. Her poetic voice and literary influences. Stevie Nicks' songwriting is often compared to poetry, and for good reason. Her lyrics are filled with symbolism, emotional landscapes, and rich imagery. Over the years, she has drawn inspiration from English literature, especially the works of Shakespeare and Lewis Carroll, fairy tales and folklore, which shaped her sense of narrative. Her own journals, which she has kept since her teenage years, personal relationships and emotional experiences transformed into mythic metaphors. She has often described her writing as a form of self-therapy, a way to capture feelings she couldn't express in conversation. Many of her songs began as long, handwritten stories in spiral notebooks. Nicks has kept thousands of pages of these writings, some of which became the source material for her 24-karat gold album. The magic of her voice. Stevie Nicks' voice is one of the most distinctive in music history. Husky, emotional, mysterious, and instantly recognizable. Over time, her voice has evolved from the bright, crystalline tone of the 1970s to a deeper, richer, more textured sound. Her vocal style is defined by a raw emotional delivery that transcends technical perfection, a wide, expressive vibrato, a sense of intimacy that makes each performance feel like a confession, the ability to convey both fragility and strength in the same breath despite the physical demands of performing for decades. Nicks has continued to adapt her voice with grace, making her later performances powerful in a different, mature way. Behind the scenes. Her creative discipline. Though she often appears ethereal and spontaneous on stage, Stevie Nicks is known for an extremely disciplined creative routine. She writes at night, sometimes staying up until dawn. She keeps boxes filled with journals, poems, and cassette tapes of song ideas. She organizes her creative work chronologically so she can return to past emotions and stories. She treats songwriting as both a responsibility and a calling. Even during intense touring schedules, Nicks finds time to write, reflect, and maintain her artistic identity. Her relationship with fame. Unlike many rock stars, Stevie Nicks has always had a complicated relationship with fame. She enjoys connecting with her fans and performing live, but she is also protective of her privacy, carefully crafting boundaries around her personal world. Throughout her career, she has emphasized the importance of female independence in the music industry, maintaining creative ownership and personal agency, not being controlled or defined by romantic partners, staying true to her artistic vision. Even when under pressure, these values help make her a role model for countless artists seeking to assert themselves in an industry dominated by men. Touring. Where she truly comes alive. Stevie Nicks often says that the stage is where she feels most at home. Despite the physical challenges of long tours, she continues to perform with passion, energy, and emotional openness. Over time, her concerts have become legendary for her signature twirls and shawl dances extended heartfelt stories about her songs' emotional intimacy with the audience, vintage outfits and shawls that she sometimes brings out of storage, powerful renditions of classics like Rhiannon, Dreams, and Gold Dust Woman. Her tours attract fans of all ages, many of whom dress in Stevie-inspired attire, flowing skirts, fringed shawls, velvet coats, and lace gloves. A cultural symbol across generations, Stevie Nicks has transcended the boundaries of a typical rock performer. She has become a cultural archetype, symbolizing creativity, independence, emotional depth, and feminine mystique. Her cultural impact can be seen in fashion and style trends, especially the bohemian, witchy aesthetic characters in films and television inspired by her image, internet communities dedicated to her music and persona, the enduring popularity of Fleetwood Mac among younger audiences, modern musicians who cite her as a major influence, her role in American Horror Story Coven further reinforced her status as an icon of magic, femininity, and artistic power. Philanthropy and giving back. While not always publicized, Nicks has been involved in various forms of philanthropy, including support for veterans dealing with PTSD, music education programs, charitable organizations focused on children's well-being, animal rescue and welfare. She has often donated her paintings, shawls, and handwritten lyrics to charity auctions. Friendships that shaped her life. Stevie Nicks has long-standing friendships with many figures in music, including Christine McVie, her closest confidant in Fleetwood Mac, Sheryl Crow, who helped revive her creativity in the 2000s, Vanessa Carlton, who often tours with her and collaborates on stage, Lady A, Haim, Lana Del Rey, and Taylor Swift, all of whom admire her work. Her friendships are characterized by support, mentorship, and artistic collaboration, reflecting her belief in lifting up younger generations of women. Her philosophy of life and art. Despite her glamorous image, Nicks is grounded in a deep personal philosophy: art must be honest. Love is transformative but not defining. Women should own their stories. A creative life requires sacrifice and discipline. Magic exists in the memories we create and preserve. She often reminds fans that vulnerability is a source of strength, not weakness. Why Stevie Nicks endures? Stevie Nicks endures because she is more than a musician. She is a storyteller, an icon, and a symbol of artistic authenticity. Her music captures universal emotions in a deeply personal way, making her songs timeless companions for millions around the world. Her legacy continues to grow. Her influence continues to spread, and her voice, both literal and poetic, remains as powerful as ever. Further expansion. The inner universe of Stevie Nicks. Her enormous archives and the historian within. Few artists keep records of their lives as meticulously as Stevie Nicks. For decades, she has preserved thousands of handwritten journals, cassette tapes of early demos, Polaroids and personal photographs, lyrics written on hotel stationery during tours, drawings, poems, letters, and notes. Her stage outfits, often carefully stored and catalogued. Nicks once described her house as a museum of memories. She believes it is her duty to document her creative life, not out of vanity, but because she knows her fans, and future historians, will want to understand the full story. She dreams of eventually releasing a comprehensive archive project. Many of her notes have already inspired songs on albums like 24 Karat Gold. Her visual art, the painter behind the music. Stevie Nicks is also a talented painter. During quieter periods in her life, particularly in the 1990s, painting became a refuge for her. She paints fairy tale portraits, abstract, dreamlike figures, women wrapped in flowing shawls, symbolic images, such as hearts, moons, and doors. Her paintings often reflect the themes of her music: longing, transformation, magic, and female strength. Some of these works have been auctioned for charity, raising substantial funds. Fans see her visual art as an extension of her poetic imagination, a glimpse into the subconscious world from which many of her songs emerge. Her bond with fans. A devoted and magical community. Stevie Nicks' relationship with her fans is unusually intimate and loyal. Many describe her shows as almost spiritual gatherings. She often speaks directly from the stage about love, loss, creativity, survival. The meaning behind her songs. Her fans respond in kind, dressing in her style, bringing handmade gifts, writing letters, and sharing life stories that her music helped them navigate. Generations of listeners, from baby boomers to Gen Z, have found refuge in her songs. Nicks calls her fanbase her musical family, viewing them as companions through the different eras of her life. Her business acumen. The woman behind the brand. Behind Stevie Nicks' ethereal image lies a sharp and strategic business mind. She has negotiated her own contracts, carefully maintained ownership of her artistic identity, protected her image and fashion trademarks, given input on setlists, album art, and marketing decisions in later years. She made major business moves, such as a partial sale of her publishing rights, using the funds to ensure long-term financial stability and to support her philanthropic goals. Her career longevity is no accident. It is the result of both talent and disciplined management. Unreleased songs and lost albums. Stevie Nicks is famous for writing far more songs than she releases. Among fans, her unreleased catalog is legendary. She has notebooks and tapes containing songs written in hotel rooms during the Rumours tour, emotional ballads from the Buckingham Nicks years, pieces cut from albums like The Wild Heart or Trouble in Shangri-La, songs inspired by books, films, and personal heartbreaks. Entire albums worth of material never formally recorded. Some of these resurfaced on 24-karat gold, but many remain unheard. Nicks has hinted that she hopes future generations will one day hear everything, suggesting a vast posthumous archive might eventually be released. Stevie Nicks and feminine mythology. Stevie Nicks' mystical persona is not a performance, it is a symbolic language. She draws from Greek goddesses, Celtic legends, Renaissance and Victorian imagery, tarot symbolism, themes of rebirth, moon cycles, and transformation, rather than seeing herself as a literal witch. Nicks uses mythic elements to explore female creativity, emotional complexity, independence, healing, personal power. Her artistry demonstrates how feminine mysticism can coexist with strength, ambition, and resilience. Her lifelong love of dance and movement. Though best known for her voice, Stevie Nicks is deeply connected to movement. Her spinning dances and slow, ritualistic gestures on stage are influenced by ballet classes she took as a teen. Martha Graham's interpretive dance philosophy. 1960s San Francisco performance culture. Her belief that the body should tell the story with the voice, this physical element makes her performances emotional, almost theatrical, without relying on elaborate choreography. Her views on mortality and legacy. In recent years, Stevie Nicks has spoken more openly about legacy and the meaning of life. She believes that artists never truly die, their work becomes their immortality. Songs act as emotional time capsules. Her journals and archives will help preserve her voice long after she is gone. Creativity is a sacred gift meant to be shared despite acknowledging the passage of time. Nicks continues to be driven by a sense of purpose. She still writes regularly, recording new ideas and working on unreleased projects. She often says, "I'm not ready to stop. There are too many stories I still need to tell." Stevie Nicks, A symbol of artistic freedom with her flowing shawls, emotional voice, and poetic soul. Stevie Nicks has become far more than a musician. She is a symbol of artistic independence, a feminist icon, a living poet, a fashion trendsetter, a spiritual figure for many fans, a mentor to younger artists, a keeper of musical history. Her influence echoes across decades, touching rock, pop, indie, folk, and even electronic music.
Bye bye, thanks for watching. Bye. Các đàn anh